There we go. Alright, hopefully the mic audio's fine. That's my hope anyway. Hopefully you guys can hear me fine. This is one of those streams that's completely out of the blue. Alright, let's go ahead and change some stuff here. I'm not sure why I started up Star Rail, considering that's not even the main focus. Alright, how is everyone doing this afternoon? Hopefully everyone is doing well. Who is ready to talk lore? One thing I just noticed that's gonna kind of slightly piss me off is that was not raised up. I don't know why it wasn't, but okay. Cool. Let's kind of give it a couple of minutes, let people join. I should realistically be on a different page. I'm not sure if I'm going to use the footage that I recorded as, like, kind of to skim through, but I actually think that potentially, anyway, that might be a good idea. Of course, I'm going to turn off... Well, okay. I could turn off the in-game music. But we're just going to go ahead and load up Star Rail. There's a chance that I may not use Star Rail as my means for, like, analysis, but I may also still use it, so we'll see. But this is a completely out of the blue stream for me. I've never really done like lore analysis before, but I really want to figure out sort of, even if it's not a solid theory, just a put together theory about how we think Amphoreus is going to end. Make sure that everything on this end is running correctly. I just realized I don't have my stream on Trenexus 23, which is my Twitch running. Which is very weird because normally I have that running when I do that, so. Nope. Wrong one. We're not worrying about withering waves right now.
So this was my childhood dream, huh?
Okay. That... Interests are... Not sure. Theory crafting. Theory crafting. Oh, okay. Cool. There is actually an option for theory crafting. That's something I had no clue about. That's pretty cool, though. I think I'm fine with how the lighting is. I kind of want my face fully lit for this, so I'm not going to switch that out. I think that works pretty well. Go ahead and... I don't know why that says what they're
I will walk to the end of all your wills. At the cost.
There we go. Cool. Awesome. Alright. So... I guess the first thing I want to analyze is... Nope, not
I will
Woowa.
walk to the end of all your wills. No matter the cost.
There we go. I'm gonna kind of exit out of some stuff here. So, I guess the main thing that I kind of take away from the HSR 3.5 quest that I played, that video will be going up very soon. It's not up yet, but it will be going up pretty soon. Is mostly in the fact of how does Dawn Hung and Evernight March tie into this?
So naive.
Because even though the idea behind it is that March is an emanator, she is the emanator of remembrance. Evernight is the original form of March before she lost her memories. Yeah, so mysterious foreign guest, that would be her. So realistically, I think the people that are gonna be the most important to look at are probably gonna be mysterious foreign guest, maybe potentially Ceredra. Because the issue is we already have a basic understanding of Finon. Finon kind of, his whole arc showed up quite a bit during 3.4. This is the only one that I'm a bit curious about. When I called you Mother, this was 3.2, I believe, if I remember correctly.
The gates of the Temple of the Three Fates gently open on the day of prayer, and the crowd crouched, whispering like the tide. The priests of Janus listened to the prophecies. The unwavering axis of the scales of Talantin maintains balance, and only Orynyx remains silent.
Can I just have it so that it continues? No.
Mother, teach me how to answer prayers.
The Titan tasked with time is as perplexed as a child.
Don't be scared. Please don't be afraid.
A familiar voice rings out.
So that's March.
Listen carefully. The future they want is in the past.
Like the first light of the morning star.
So we're to assume from that voice that that is March, but there's no way of knowing whether or not it's Evernight or it's the March 7th that we know. I would believe it's Evernight because that is the form before March 7th lost her memories.
Really? In the past?
The child sank into a peaceful slumber of recollection, whispering revelations in their sleep.
Okay.
Until the masses crying out amidst the flames of war were swept away by the sounds of sharp swords locking, the fires of ambition incinerating the law.
Mother, usurper, assassinate the divine body.
Memories
Divine
tightly
body could
entangled by
mean
nightmares with nowhere to run.
Don't be scared. Please don't be afraid.
An unfamiliar voice rings out.
Go to sleep. The ending they want is yet to be born.
Like the warm glow of the setting sun.
So, assassinate the divine body, that could be talking about the erudition, but that more makes me think that it's related to the Nanook. because he set his gaze upon the world. But could also be talking about Foley, I believe is the name of the Eon. It's hard to assess that just based off what it says.
Really? Not here yet?
The child continues to sleep, waiting for the next waking dream.
Okay, so
And
next
when they opened their
cycle.
eyes, 2 of the 3 fates who once received offerings had already faded from the pages of history.
Mother! I'm already all alone.
2 of the 3 fates.
The child let out a helpless cry.
Don't be scared. Please don't be afraid.
A familiar voice rings out
Again,
in
March
the mirror.
7th.
Just wait. The stars that illuminate the night will visit in the end.
Like gentle moonlight.
Okay, so 2 of the 3 fates who once received offerings had already faded from the pages of history. That would be the Temple of the 3 Fates. And so the Temple of the 3 Fates. The Temple of the 3 Fates refers to a location. Yeah, okay. So it's very heavily connected into Greek mythology. It says in Greek mythology, the Fates Morai were powerful goddesses who controlled the destinies of all living beings, including gods. They were often depicted as 3 sisters. Clotho, I think, who spun the thread of life, Lachesis, who measured its length, and Atropos, who cut the thread, symbolizing death. I believe... Yeah. So, Yannisopolis is the Temple of the 3 Fates, Ornyx, Janus, and Talantin. Ornyx is time. Janus is... Ooh. Talantin is law, so that would mean that Janus would probably be Yannisopolis. What did Janus believe in HSR? I believe... binding. Okay. So... technically, in a logical sense, that means Ornyx was life. Talantin, even though he was law, was considered death. Yeah, so... the Temple of the 3 Fates... but it pretty much means that they were like the binding of So you had like the main titans, but you also had like Talantin, Oryx, and Yanis, and they were sort of the binding that kept the world intact. However, you also had the Chrysosairs, which had their own sort of Yessopolis, also known as Abyss of Fate, is one of the major cities found in Amphoreus. Temple of the Three Fates, yeah. So, what were the three fates in HSR? I know there aren't three fates in the traditional Greek mythology sense present in the main lore of Honkai Star. However, the game does feature godlike beings called Eons who embody different paths. So, the thing I'm trying to sort of figure out... yeah. I will say this is very similar because the fates are similar to, so in Greek mythology, it says, in ancient Greek religion and mythology, the Moirai, often known as in English as the Fates, were the personifications of destiny. They were three sisters, Clotho the spinner, Lachesis the elauder, and Atropos the inevitable metaphor for death. The Roman equivalent is the Parse, I think is how you say that. But the idea behind it is the fact that... I'm actually going to change this a little bit. We're going to do a little bit of something different here. So, the best way that I can kind of think about it is, in the sense of what it is very much talking about how the three fates were the sort of glue that held Amphoreus together. Because you had Oryx with time, Yanis was kind of like the life and death, and then Talantin was the law of the Amphoreus, basically. Mother... Stars that illuminate the night will visit in the end. That could be referring to the Trailblazers. I'm not exactly sure there. It doesn't really go into a lot of detail. It is highlighted, which makes me think that that might be true. But let's continue.
The gates of the Temple of the Three Fates now closed tight. People no longer pray to a titan who cannot touch the world. Within the inescapable dreamscape, the flower stems nourished by the black tide serve as a swaddling embrace, drowning the young child's soul.
Mother? Mother?
Okay, so that's Oryx again.
Leave this place.
But this time, they didn't receive a response. Only long years of yearning and pain. Like the silence of the Evernight.
Okay, Evernight is referring to March. She is, at least from what I can understand anyway, she is considered a emanator.
Days and nights passed, the years turned. dust covers the glory of the past.
So this is
Priest,
connected
the forgotten
to
Titan.
the last time Ornyx saw Mother, which is technically her creator.
Waiting. Hate waiting.
They watched over the slumbering sprite, gazing at the dull mirror. But a fleeting mirage flickers in the mirror, the shining stars and the lights of the home, and a strange yet familiar voice.
Wake up! Our familiar old friends have already arrived.
Like the newborn dawn.
So that could be Cyrene, but I don't think it is. At least
Waiting.
the voice doesn't sound like Cyrene.
They watched over the slumbering sprite, gazing at the dull mirror. But a fleeting mirage flickers in the mirror, the shining stars and the lights of the home, and a strange yet familiar voice.
Wake up! Our familiar old friends have already arrived.
Like the newborn
That's March.
dawn.
So that is March 7th. That is not... Okay.
My friend, have you heard of the rosy celestial maiden? Whether in a corner of the archives or in the depths of a cave, you can always find legends about her. She had hair like a rosy pink dawn and a smile that could thaw the most glacial ice.
Okay, so that is...
Some say she was Nikodor's nemesis, while others say Nestor
Okay.
was infatuated with her. Oh, mysterious and beautiful celestial maiden, how I wish to turn into a slate, forever etched with your tale. Many claim to have seen that celestial maiden, either in the half-remembered dreams of early morning, or in the gossip and whispers after supper.
She once whispered in my ear.
She once saved my life.
She gifted me an ice crystal.
So they have to be talking about March.
Her worshippers recite her deeds.
But it's not the March we know. I
Writing
believe it's
some into
Evernight.
family teachings. Curious poets ask up and down the land, only to find that the details of these encounters are difficult to recount, even for the witnesses themselves.
Who is
In
talking?
the entire holy city, there are none who can provide proof of her existence.
Which makes
It is not known
sense.
since when the celestial maiden was always mentioned together with time.
So
People recite her name during prayer to beg for miracles to appear faster. It is said that even in the selection of priests of time, girls with pink hair are preferred.
okay, so that would explain why
Still doesn't
Cyrene...
pick me. Maybe I need to go dye my hair.
The brunette candidate was upset, but the examiner
Yeah.
responded with a smile.
Don't forget the healer of Twilight. Has a head of pink hair. She's a descendant of the sky.
Okay.
Scholars and poets discuss at length the origins of the rosy celestial maiden, but all mothers tell the same tale. That princess came from beyond the sky. Her shooting star, like crystal ice, pierced the fog of the veil.
Okay,
of
that's talking about Evernight March.
She made friends with the Titan, and whenever the month of Evernight descended, they would meet again.
So month of Evernight...
The children loved that tale.
That must have
Therefore,
been part of
as
the
moon
program,
turned
maybe?
shifted phases, the story became true. But someone always questions, unable to read the air.
Mm-hmm.
There are no worlds beyond the sky. So how can the rosy celestial maiden come from there?
So they are talking about March.
Rosy celestial maiden. A world beyond the sky.
The reckless adventurer takes out the photo stone, claiming it is the true work of the rosy celestial maiden.
Okay.
The citizens laugh at this tale, with few accepting it as true. After all, long before the guests beyond the sky arrived, the legend of the rosy celestial maiden had already...
Guests beyond the sky, they're talking about the Trailblazers.
So, my friend, have you really heard of the rosy celestial maiden?
So we know a little bit about the Celestial Maiden. I'm guessing we'll probably find out more in 3.6. But I think the biggest, at least from what I know, the biggest sort of hint at maybe we're going into something a little bit more deeper than the programming is the fact that March originates from Amphoreus. That's where she came from. Well, okay. She doesn't necessarily originate from there, but her, like, beginnings and who she was before as it's almost a clear indication that she is an emanator. Like, there's so much stuff connected to that it's pretty concisive that she might be an emanator. Those are locked.
Back then, the tides of the Chrysos War had not yet engulfed this city-state of Talenton.
So, say of law.
And the young princess inside the gates once loved to roam without worries.
Mm-hmm.
She snuck into forbidden grounds while the servants were away, but was shocked by what she saw on that day. A chessboard, a stack of pieces, and a strange woman. The board dissected by daylight and shadow, the pieces polished from rough stones uneven.
Fancy a game? If you are my match, then I'll call you my friend.
The stranger's voice was husky and coarse.
If you can beat me, then I'll call you my teacher.
The princess proudly retorted.
Okay. I'm not sure who that is.
Bravado, the princess had never touched chess. The defeat made her study in earnest, acknowledging the other as a teacher. Well, first she learned the knights, bishops, rooks, and queen. Then how to defend, attack, capture, and checkmate.
Yeah.
I have learned all there is to learn.
Barely out of childhood, the princess raced into games of chess. Those who looked down on her faced many losses. Those who glorified themselves forfeited in a mess. At her prime, none could rival her at all.
So, I'm not really...
But she still recalled what the stranger said.
My origins bring dark omens. So never tell others where your teacher is from.
Okay, Dark Omens...
Then, the waves of the Chrysos War washed over the world.
So...
The Achaemons welcomed a ruler. She was deemed Imperator and loved to play chess with herself. She regarded all things as pieces, whether Chrysos heirs or Titans magnificent. before every god-slaying campaign, she thought of the stranger from her childhood, as if that woman had always lived in her mind.
Isn't it lonely to play chess against yourself?
The princess did not understand at the time.
I'm trying to think
But now,
who would be connected
she who
to that.
bore the crown finally realized the flame chase's beginning was like fuel being tossed onto the fire, and in the unending road of marching banners and war cries, she finally had the time to meditate. There were often jesters behind the king, curious about her past and her old city lost to time. One claimed the Imperator was cruel, executing her own teacher. Another stated the Imperator was biased, learning from an enemy hostage. Many such rumors abounded.
Not picking up on
with no
anything.
origin found.
No matter. That was indeed the criminal sentence I read out.
The Imperator stated evenly,
My teacher was an enemy hostage whom my elders had imprisoned. Her state betrayed our alliance and must be executed according to law. But she taught me chess. So why can't I chisel the word teacher on her tombstone now?
when the princess personally cleaned up the possessions of the dead, she caught sight of an incomplete game on the ground. The stranger's hoarse chuckle still echoed in her ear, laughing at the eternal fate of imprisonment. And how the one facing her was the princess of the enemy.
Okay.
Is this your final game for me, my teacher?
The princess imagined the end game over and over. Even when she took the imperial crown, she still dreamt of the black and white board. The concealed truth suddenly dawned on her during a more difficult contest in the future. An unfinished game might be the opponent's lifelong barrier.
So, I'm not sure exactly how that connects to the other stuff. I would think in some ways that would connect to the emanators for destruction. Or not, emanators, Lord Ravagers. My bad. If I had to guess, I would probably say like a chessboard. I don't actually know what that would connect to. I'm curious if there's anything here that I might have missed. Got Starlit Homecoming. The only thing that I'm a little bit kind of confused about is they're talking about almost like a so we know Cyrene has mimetic properties. We know that to be true. There's a chance that maybe even beyond her memory she can still survive. I'm not sure necessarily where Phynon falls into this. I believe Phynon sacrificed himself, so Kasana is no longer here. Realistically, I don't think any of the characters that are on Amphoreus really connect to, like, the outer world. I think Tribi, Aglaya, Hycillans, Hycealans, Phynon, yes, Castros, Mighty, Anaxa, all of them are kind of more connected within the realm of Amphoreus. I think in some ways they could be connected to the outer part. I mean, it's a program, so... I mean, Lygus would have had to take from something in order to make those programs. However, I'm not sure necessarily, because he said he took inspiration from the Eons to make the Titans. And there's a chance that is somehow woven together. Fairy Tree Hollow Dive.
I will walk to
Oh. Did I miss something? I think I might have. I might get this out of the way.
Peaceful days are like breezes.
And we're back to
carrying
talking
the
to
scent of
Cyrene
fear.
again. Alright.
No matter how many times I look, it's still so beautiful. Ah, it's good to see you. Come take a look. Want to see the treasure of Ides Elysiae?
Treasure?
Right here. Look closely. Isn't it just beautiful?
Oh, it's us.
Ah, that's right. You get it too, don't you? Sometimes you just feel so radiant, you can't help but stop in front of a mirror. All right. I wasn't kidding, though. The treasure is right here. This little lake, my own little world. Can I ask, do you like being by yourself? I do. Just staring at the lake by myself, gently swaying on the swing.
The
My mind
revelations
drifts
in this
far
patch
away,
is nuts,
and by the
to
time it
say the
comes
least.
back,
Yeah,
I'm already fallen asleep.
I'm
Here in this village,
almost
shrouded by the
positive
veil of
in one way or
Element,
another March
dreams
7th
give
is the
wings to
Emanator.
imagination. Children who grow
There's
up
a
in Ides Elysiae are born
chance,
poets at heart.
at least from what I gather, there's a chance that maybe some of the
This
other
sort of
characters are
atmosphere is
involved in
hard
the
to come
ending.
by. So let me
But
share a
they don't
story
feel
with
like
you.
they're gonna have a huge part to do with the story. However, I don't think Lygus was aware of the fact of what we were doing behind the scenes. I mean, he, in a way, he kind of was, but also, March is very special, to say the least. Yeah, I also think that Cyrene is gonna have some more important role to play. Because we know she has magic properties. We know that to be true.
How wonderful. You're so
I also didn't
patient.
realize I missed
Stories
this.
only shine when they have a listener like you. According to legend, within the hidden depths of Ides Elysiae live a group of playful little fairies. The fairies, though hidden away from the world, dreamed of living like humans.
Oh,
They
is
tried
this
to hold a
the...
grand banquet, just as the villagers would.
Is this the
But
beginning
one thing was
to
missing, the most important person.
the restaurant
They
event?
waited and waited, and then one day, footsteps echoed from the secret
I
entrance.
think so.
The fairies all pricked up their ears in excitement.
Lori Isaacs, welcome back.
Would you say the hero of our little story has their ears pricked up right now?
Gentle drowsiness gradually envelops your thought.
Incredible! The hero has uncovered the essence of the world. And Chief, over here!
Oh. This is...
This way, this way! Everyone's already setting things up!
Yeah, this is the... Okay.
Everyone?
This is nothing to do with the story. Okay. Never mind. Just call me Lolo? Okay. I'm doing well. So, from what I can gather, March 7th is going to have a very important part to play in this. Where I don't... Some of the people that I can kind of mark off the list I don't think are going to have a huge part are probably... Hyacinth might. I don't think Finon is. Finon is kind of gone. We've already established that. Triby, Trian, and Tridon, I think, are just on Amphoreus. I don't think they're going to really have a huge part to play in the next update. Anaxa, not really. I think I'm feeling a little bit sick. Oh no. What makes the story interesting that we entered the Amphoreus in the latter half of the journey. Yeah. So, if I could mark anybody off the list, I'd probably say Triby, Trinon, and Trian. Anaxa, Mighty Casterus, and probably Aglaya. Cypher as well. I don't see her having a huge part to play. Hycillans probably because she did, I think, join us at the end of the story. Hyacinth, I don't see. A lot of the characters that took over the demigod roles, other than like Hycillans at the end that helped us, I don't see Casterus, Mighty, Aglaya, Anaxa, Finon, Cypher, Hyacinth. Ceredra, probably not. I think we kind of ended the whole thing with her. And Tribios, I think, is also probably going to be done. I think we're going to see a lot more bigger roles coming from Mysterious Foreign Guest, which we know now is Evernight March. Seismic Walking Dragon, that is oh god, what was his name? The new form of Donhung. And Helectra, or Hycillans. I think those are probably going to be our 3 big roles. And then we have Trailblazer, Cyrene, which... That's another interesting little piece of information. Cyrene is nowhere to be found on the table of contents. That I thought was very interesting. I still need to finish reading those. We know... according to this, that... Yeah, Cyrene is just not on this. Ceredra did play a part in the ending. Yeah, she did. You mean Permansor Teray, I think is how you... I don't know. I can't pronounce his name. But I think... deep within the earth lies a whisper from ages past, where ancient eyes gaze through the river of time. As the giant dragon's back becomes riddled with cries of sorrow, the will of countless souls to survive condenses into one final reverse scale. Defiance of the fate is the final crown of the Guardian. I'm going to make a prediction right now that Donhung is gonna die. We only have 2 patches and the story ends. Yeah. I'm gonna guess that something happens to Donhung. From what I see from Cyrene, I think she records the history of Amphoreus itself, which is very similar to what the Garden of Recollection does. So I almost wonder if that's intertwined somehow. Because the Garden of Recollection follows people around, and they also record the history of worlds. So I'm curious if she has a connection to the Garden of Recollection. Because Lygus did say that he took inspiration from other beings like eons Lord Ravagers to come up with Amphoreus. So there's a chance that that is somehow connected in there. I will say I should probably finish this, because there could be more of a hint towards Ceredra.
The Imperator's army stormed into the northern states for the first time, passing through city gates.
Cyrenia's
scorched
mem, after
by
all.
war.
Yeah. She has those mimetic
So exclaimed the angry child.
mimetic
The
properties.
rock tossed from up high.
I'm
hit
guessing
the
next
girl's
patch
crown.
the stream
The crowd
system
shrieked
goes
and
up to
retreated,
99.9.
fearful of a ruler's
Hey,
flames
Finon,
of
welcome.
fury.
Because if you
The
look at the
girl
trailer,
reached
Ceredra
out,
did join the ballot
went to
against
straighten
Iron
the
Tomb.
crown on her head.
Yeah.
Up the child, shivering in dread.
I heard in the old laws of this land, whoever assaults the crown shall be punished. But I wear another land's crown.
Mm-hmm.
And your old laws should also be abolished.
After many days, the Gold Weaver discovered in shock that wearing a crown or a hat to the side was now this land's fashion, likely to remain
Interesting.
the Imperator's name in tradition. The so-called heroes with golden blood in their veins all have the qualities to fight
Core
for
flames
the
are
core
connected
flame.
to the Eon's
Who's to
powers,
say this was not the gods' plan?
and the
To have the
Titans are
heroes at each
forms
other's
of the
throats,
Eons.
So the divine could hide.
Question, do we
old
know if
laws
there's a
away
last core
and
flame like
laugh,
all core flame
play,
combined?
and gloat?
It's...
Who made this world a chessboard, and with one stroke, one river?
Technically,
created the boundary
we could assume that Kephales's core flame is the ultimate core flame, considering it's the one that finished off,
Dux Carminum.
was like the final core flame that we submitted. So,
Dux Fragoris. Dux Brumalis. Heed my call.
The girl stood
I
before
would
a
guess
mighty
that
army.
Kephales's core flame would be the final one.
I will
Kephale
insist on
was...
crossing the Rubicon. Gather the might of all heroes and begin the journey to save God.
Which one was Kephale?
Half of the core flames were now in her hands, and the hidden trickery titan stirred.
Trickery Titan we
leaving
found out was
cause.
Bartolos in 3.4. The duty of Kephale is worth noting. Yes. That...
The
Cause...
Imperator summoned the heroes to discuss, finally stopping after much hesitation. As they
It
had
would
already
only
pinned
make
down the
sense
bones
that they
of
would
Earth's beast.
heavily
They
guard
let
Kephale's
that
core
faith
flame,
live for a bit longer in bliss.
because it's like the most important
The
one.
warrior of the fractured blade laughed boldly.
I almost feel like you wouldn't have been
Our
able to
sovereign is good at open
use
strategies and struggles
the
with
other
trickery.
core flames.
But where is that live fish?
The Imperator replied with a chuckle.
Her? She probably disliked the scent of cats and submerged herself in the baths.
The years spent with her dukes didn't seem too far distant.
So...
Yet only after the end of many wars did the heroes discover how the Imperator's form walked more and more alone.
The road of a ruler is a lonely one. One day, we'll only be able to see her retreating form.
Okay, so that is
Swordmaster of
Hycelan's.
Singing Waves was worried too. When all others had departed in intoxication, the two of them gazed into each other's eyes, towards torrents deeper than their fates, and sank into profound silence.
Drink one more cup with me, my dear follower.
In the end, the Imperator first broke the silence.
When compared to the taste of salt and blood, I sometimes miss your ambrosia.
About the destruction soon to be born.
Terrorbox
and
is an interesting
eternally
character
occurring
of note as well.
extrapolation. The anti-Catherians spoke of all this in words unceasing.
Terrorbox. What if
So
Herta and
this is the
Screwy
old
re-download
world I must
Finon?
fight against.
The girl's expression. bore no
Realistically,
sorrow
they
or
could.
tragedy. Instead, she looked more solemn and ready than ever.
I guess in some ways they could.
Whoever stated that two kings could not meet face to face in chess?
However, in some
am the
ways,
sovereign of
Finon
Arkham.
kind of
I once faced the
ascends
gods.
past
So what do I
Amphoreus
have
because
to
he
fear about the
became,
laws hanging behind such gods?
well, his official
I will
title
chop
was
up
Kevin
the old
Caslana.
laws and let them
So
be firewood for the new.
there's a chance
No
maybe
matter
he
the
goes
cost.
beyond the...
That
So
is
I kind of
the
take back what I
Emperor's
said. There could be a
lifelong
chance that we see
conviction.
Finon
Never
again,
changed,
but he could be in a
always persistent.
bigger role than we initially thought he was going to be in. Also, talk about freaking on point. I'm drinking a blue monster and we're listening to lore about Ceredra. Or Ceredra. I mispronounced that.
I dreamed that the Imperator's statue stood before the world-wearing altar, her gaze level with that of the gods.
So, there's some of the voices in this that
Gushed out from the statue's orifices.
I don't know who it is.
Cheers and elation washed their hands in that golden blood. The tyrant's life will end with violent death. None
It's
will
not
weep,
Lagus.
and all will
It's not the
cheer as her
Trailblazer.
statue topples.
And the log's terror box doesn't display any hostile
She
behavior.
will die before the dawn comes.
Okay, so this
A
is
vengeful
just some
aristocrat,
random person.
One whose title was stripped by the Imperator, thus spoke.
We cannot agree with your excessive deeds. You have imprisoned
That's
Trivia's
Trivios.
split selves, demanding that divine authority regress into the ruler's mouthpiece. We will reveal your future with the prophecy.
So I think in some
telling
ways
truth.
there's certain people where it's like it'll
Your
say, it
crusade
says in the
will
files
indeed
like
be a smooth path.
not a
Yet in the
threat,
same breath, we see omens of your
but
death, a demise
they
in an
could play a
absolute
bigger
pure
role than
darkness.
we initially assumed that they
Even
would.
So, please excuse us, as our eyes continue to be drawn to your crown's flames. Dux Futurum. We don't exactly hate that name.
In the name of Yanissopolis' priestess, holy maiden, and oracle, thus spoke the Imperator's Dux Futurum.
So, and that's kind of interesting because
Allow me to remind you, your life is now on a countdown with the fall of law, and you will become
Okay, so
law.
that's Lagus.
I must confirm, is our deal still going strong? Is the future I promised you more satisfying than the future in the prophecy? Ah, you are as resolute as always. Good. Oh, as ever, this prison of gods, Amphoreus, and all mundane and average worlds need someone like you.
So Lagus is currently talking to Ceredra.
Let us end this despicable extrapolation together.
Amphoreus is the Eurus, the Imperator's co-conspirator, Lycurgus, thus spoke.
The Imperator betrayed the Flame Chase Alliance. And I was the sinner who paved the way for her achievements.
That's High Sealans. Is there a
Like how
chance of
deep-sea
fourth
fish
path
cannot escape
/
the
Eon
tide's
interference
push and pull.
the world
I
at the
granted
fight
her an
/ end?
fitting for a tyrant. Her dying smile.
So,
Gazed
so
towards my
far,
tear-swelled eyes.
Remembrance, Destruction,
She commanded me to wash
Erudition.
away all sins and filth. and return a blinding dawn to
There
the holy
could be
She
an
demanded me to
interference
set
with
stones and
Harmony,
monuments
because
in lightless seabeds to commemorate our friends.
in terms of past,
who will
Remembrance and
remember all the
Harmony are very much connected to Amphoreus.
I will rest
Or
with
maybe
her in
it's
a lonely
Penacony. I can't remember.
Electra, the last heir of
I
the
think they
ocean,
said
who played
Harmony
music
and
on the waves
Remembrance
of
are
old.
connected to Amphoreus. At most
Please
permanence.
record the truth of
Yeah.
my life, dear author. No need for words of praise or solemnity. Just as I once instructed Dux Carminum.
I don't see
Histories
Nihility
of rulers are not for recording our merits.
necessarily,
warning
mostly
future
because we
generations.
haven't seen anything
As for
from
why the Imperator
Acheron.
died, and what reproach
And normally
she
when
would
it comes
face
to
in life and
Nihility,
death,
she's like the head of
those
that,
should be
so...
left for the new world to judge. Now I have personally entered my end. A
Well, actually, okay, I take
self-flagellation.
that back.
Let the boiling gold
'Cause I
covering
believe
the holy
Castro
city
says
be
Nihility.
stamped with my name. For I am certain I have won half a move against the gods. And this unfinished game will be left to the future to reach completion.
Seridra, the only Imperator the Holy City had ever seen, spoke thus.
So it's interesting that Aglaia did not take on the title of Imperator. What is also very interesting to think about is the fact of why that is. Because realistically, she could have easily been like, oh, Imperator, second Imperator, and then it was like... I guess Dux Glatorum, I think was her name. Gladiorum. But she decided to just be referred to as, or no, Dux Goldweaver. That was her name. Nihility was mentioned this patch. No, the Hycelian story part. Oh, yeah. God, I completely forgot about that. Because, so... Wait, hold on a second. I just thought about something. What is her alignment? Alignment is Nihility. Yeah, so... Okay, so Nihility is an option here. That path might show up. And the reason for that is we're led to believe by the end of 3.5's story that Hycelians went with the Trailblazer. However, we don't know where they went because it was never shown. If you watched my 3.5 Trailblaze mission video, I am very sorry. I got very pissed at the end because it just straight up ended on a cliffhanger with Evernight March, and I was like, motherfuckers. But Hycelians was the final Chrysos heir in that cycle as well. That's true. Because technically you could count the Trailblazer. However, you also technically couldn't count them because of the fact that the Trailblazer does not originate from Amphoreus. Yes, they've been part of the history and like, what was it? 33 million eternal reoccurrences. But they're a visitor from beyond the sky. So they're not really classified as a Chrysos heir. I believe we're gonna probably see some interference from some of the other paths because Lygus is going to anger them. considering the fact that he's already got Nanook looking on to Amphoreus, I don't think it's going to be too long before the Eon of Remembrance, the Eon of Erudition, the Eon of, or have Golden Blood for that matter. Yeah, that's true. But I don't think it's going to be long before we start seeing some huge indications that the Eons are not happy and they're going to intervene. Or a new Eon may be born and the end of the missing Eons will show up. So, because we have 16 of them. We have Nanook, Akavili, Lan, Noose, Shipe, that's in Roman numerals. X, I guess? That's Nihility. Quillpoth, Yoshi, Ouroboros, Aha, Fully, Adrila, and Tazeroneth, Mythos, and who? I guess. Yeah. Because we already know that Remembrance has entered in. We know that the Garden of Recollection is probably going to be part of this final fight. Beauty is missing and 2 others. I forget. Beauty? It's safe to say that Nanook is probably going to have a huge part to play. The fact that at least from what I can tell, the fact that Nanook and Phynon had a fight, it kind of signifies the fact that Nanook might be a huge part of the upcoming stuff. Akavili is the Trailblaze. And there's a huge chance that they'll probably potentially be connected to it. I'm curious if the Trailblazer, other than the Path of Remembrance, is going to get another path at the end of this. It's going to be like some crazy power. Beauty is missing and 2 others. I forget. There's a chance that Shipe is going to be... Nanook has been looming threat throughout the story. Yes. Nanook... Lord Ravagers are under Nanook's control. So there's a chance that we might also see them get added as well. I don't really, at least, I don't really see them dropping every single Eon in the final fight, but there's going to be a lot of them that I'm curious if an Eon will actually die at the end. Yeah, that would be interesting. Like, if Iron Tomb does reawaken, if a Eon is killed off. Because supposedly they're considered one of the most powerful beings in the universe. So, that would be very interesting. But, I was not aware that there's like 3 other emanators or things chosen by the Eon of said path. Yeah. So, do we know... Do we know what... Did they reveal, Everknight's path? Everknight, March 7th. No. God, I cannot type right. March 7th is the only character that can switch paths. That's not what I'm looking for. Here we go. Okay, so she's going to be Path of Remembrance, which makes sense. And can revoke said given power as well. Yeah. So, what's interesting to note is on the official wiki, or the official fandom, it says factions Amphoreus and says Chrysos heirs. And the other thing to note is the fact that right next to her is the Ornyx symbol. So that should be very interesting. The other interesting character that I'm not sure... So... Okay, so Donhung is going to be on Path to Permanence. Or maybe he already is. I don't know. Preservation. Which is different, I think, from his current path. That's Donhung and Babylune. That's not who I'm looking for. I also wonder if he had, like, a transformation or not. Because, yes, this is his Lafu form, because he was reincarnated with Bailu. However, where is Donhung? Right there. So, yeah, his original path is with the Hunt. And with this new one, it's Preservation. I find it fascinating that Donhung is on the path of Preservation. Yeah. So... Because realistically, I would think they would be... I don't know, either like maybe... Not Nihility, he's too good for that. I would say either Path of Harmony or Path of maybe Destruction. With the end of the story, it's all simulation slash memory, so it kills fake ones in the memory slash simulation. Okay, so we're going back into the simulation stuff. All right, cool. That's fun. I almost think maybe that we might see in some way or another that the characters break out of the simulation. I'm not saying it's gonna happen, but it's just a theory that they might. I'm just gonna go past this. Yeah. So this is just connected. They're precious. Okay, so I didn't really see anything there. Oh shit, I can recap stuff. Cool. Remember we went to this world for infinite fuel for the train for some reason. Yeah, because I think Black Swan said Amphoreus held a lot of memoria. So... if we look at March and other preservation characters, it's always about identity. True. Very true. I'm curious if there's any more about you.
In the years spent wandering the earth, the giant dragon always remembered the Titan's words for their worth. The beasts of the land surrounded it in protection, while twisted beings shuffled and roared, and delicate chimeras climbed up its shoulders. After, the tiny humans came into being, They dashed alongside the giant dragon, then, in the blink of an eye, disappeared across the land. Yet the deep irises of the giant dragon saddened in gloom. The ancient creature saw, earlier than the Titan did, hidden in a deep ocean, the incoming doom.
That's
The giant
probably
dragon
connected
recalled
to
at the
Fagusa.
moment that strife was born, the chalice of plenty sighed.
To me, it seems as if
and
he's
the
accepted his
heretical
dragon
tide
human side.
spread
Yeah.
from the seabed. Bearing their bone-gnawing pain and agony, Giorios tightened every fiber in their body, no longer hearing the call of their creations clearly. The giant dragon once swore an oath at the Titan's breast.
We've heard the name Giorios a bunch.
The dragon silently turned and departed.
But
leaving
I don't think that's talking about
of a secluded
Don
world,
Hung
and entering
or the dragon.
bustling cities humankind crowded. Thousands of years later.
Wait, when the
giant
MC tried to
dragon
resonate with
realized
playable paths in games, some ignore them. Does that mean the real eons are actually not there?
Their civilization in time.
That could be.
How can there be such a huge Dromus?
Dromus? No, that's a walking mountain of gold.
So
Curious residents were amazed at its appearance, while greedy brokers calculated its value. Yet the giant dragon simply walked in leisure, not harming a single building of any stature, nor paying heed to anyone. It quietly listened to the people's language, and its form dissolved in the flames of war. Many years later, Akula closed their eyes, and the giant dragon's steps were finally halted. A swordmaster who broke the waves stopped its way, and a ruler, commander of the chessboard, looked
So
up with inquiry.
Are you the Dromus that has been attacking all states?
okay,
The
so that's
commander
Ceredra
invited the
and
giant dragon to
Hycealans.
hunt the divine flames together. The giant dragon nodded, but it did not look at
Ooh.
the commander, and never mentioned where it came from. Its timeless sight had already seen past
That's
the
a good
flame
question.
chase's final plight.
Giorios shall be executed here.
The Titan, in a painful daze, closed their eyes with a sigh. Suddenly, the mountains shook and the land cracked. The wounds dealt by the black tide, once mended by the Titan, now tore the land apart again. The calamity of lands asunder. Who should shoulder such a duty? The giant dragon sunk into the earth in answer. For the earth was the breast of Giorios, and the dragon's birthplace. And from that day forth, Amphoreus had a new legend of how a giant dragon collected
It's
the broken
rumored
lands
no.
and once again made the
It's said in the lore that eons can't be killed, but however, within watching 3.4, we learned very quickly that Phynon easily sliced open Nanook's. Well, I mean, not really easily. He had to use all of his strength, but he sliced open Nanook's face, so. It's... Oh god, that's a lot. There's not... I would guess that Hycelan's probably has some information connected to the ending, but I don't know.
When entering the Flame Chase's currents for the first time, all the Swordmaster saw were colorful fish.
So this could be connected with
She had already
Vortex Genesis.
experienced the Imperator's dangerous games. She had long grown used to the giant beast's silent face. Carminum's charms and Helcalith's
Eons can be sealed away. Yep.
warmed her like a spring breeze. But as Fragoris missed his throne and Bramalis debated with joy, she was sometimes at a loss. Occasionally, the Swordmaster would sink into hesitation, and even that messenger of fate could not get her to laugh. Till one day, a golden trout's bubbles floated into her gloomy waters. In that holy city where golden figs grew,
So that's
messenger
Akuma.
of fate led to her a maiden dressed in glamorous gowns.
Didn't Kafka say even Eons can be killed at the Lafu story?
Clothes are you
Yeah.
even wearing?
The girl snickered behind her hand, while the messenger pulled on her sleeve.
Aggie, don't be rude.
Yeah.
Such hubris, delicate fish. Are you not aware that there's food on your face?
Ooh.
The messenger's eyes opened wide.
Aggie, you've been snacking behind my back again.
I wonder if Adrila got
It's
absorbed by
hurting me
Sheepbag.
like this. I'll
That
get my
would
revenge.
be
The
interesting.
girl ran away in a fit.
Who has the most death flag in
The
this story?
Swordmaster smiled, and before
Death
she knew
flag?
it, her hesitation was gone. After that first meeting, the richly dressed girl often came in greeting.
So, you really came from the Sea of Souls?
Well, the person who's
Do
died
all
the
children
most
of the
would
ocean dress funny like this?
probably
The Swordmaster
be...
did not chase the girl away, but also did not respond. So the girl used her hands to meticulously measure the
Finon,
Swordmaster's
probably.
torso all
I mean,
around.
You can't be seen like this.
he over and
send you
over
a
and over
chest.
again fought
Some days later,
like
the
Kyrgyz.
Swordmaster appeared in finery at a ball. All were awed by her splendor, with only the Imperator thinking in wonder.
How rare to see you like this. Oh, so lonely, Gladius.
That's true.
The Swordmaster's wardrobe grew full, and people praised Akuma's Gold Weaver for her cheerfulness and splendid skill. But only the Swordmaster noticed that the smile on the girl's face gradually faded as the flame chase progressed. The calamity
So this is
of
talking
lands
about
asunder
how
added to the girl's
Aggie,
weariness.
Aglaya, and
Battle of the Grove
Hycelan's didn't like each
robbed
other.
the light from the girl's eyes. Yet another feast arrived where the Gold Weaver was absent. The Swordmaster donned the most majestic garments and gently knocked on that door shut tight. The singing
There are like
voice
hundreds of tributes by
Dux
the time we
Gladior
enter the first time
hailed
there-
the prelude
there was
of
one.
the feast.
Anyone here play
Guests
the...
clapped and cups clinked,
Nope.
and only the Gold Weaver had no thought. of
I've never
enjoying
once
the
touched
ambrosia.
Honkai Impact 3rd. Well, that's not true. I installed it once,
would
but
have
never
thought?
played it.
I've sunk so low that I need you to comfort me.
She gave a bitter chuckle next to the bonfire.
You were as gloomy as the bedrock of the ocean when we first met.
The swordmaster held a tall chalice containing liquid pure, reflecting their two faces.
I remember you were once curious about the stories under the sea. Then allow me to use my songs to reveal the past known to none.
So, okay. That didn't really give us a lot in terms of lore-related stuff. It was talking more about sort of high ceilings for, I would guess, this final one probably connects to it.
Of the Sea of Souls was its residents all had melodious voices, and music enveloped every ocean current. For the queen loved her people deeply, thus drowning out all sorrows and leaving only feasts.
So this is the Ocean Titan.
Only one rocky castle was silent, one belonging to the princess
The
of
Sea
the
Sirens.
ocean. A princess named Electra.
Yep.
Were a monster of the depths to invade, the princess would raise her sword to engage.
There's a high probability that most of the Crisis there will
always
not be
rang
able
her
to go beyond
triumphs
Amphoreus.
before she returned.
Yeah, part of that I think is the fact that they're
never suffering defeat.
programs, so...
Princess, come enjoy the feast with us.
The triumphant people raised their glasses, yet she declined with a smile and a wave. The children of
All
the
I can
sea
say is if
thought
the
she
story
was
is
shy.
based on
Little
Elysian's
did they
story,
know,
then the ending
in
will
the
be
dead
something.
of night, her castle too.
I wish I understood, because
Though that music was loud,
I feel like having insight on that
and
would
invoked
actually help.
spite.
I don't know how long the story is,
Before
though.
a song even finished, the princess was already biting her lips, and the sea foam brushed away her tears.
Oh.
All of your people sing and dance with skill. So why do I alone lack a good singing voice?
The princess wept, her face.
The ocean's favorite child can control the waves and is invincible in battle. In exchange, Talantin took away your singing voice.
Okay, Talantin's the
queen
Titan of Law.
consoled the princess, caressing the other's hair bun. Finally, she relented and took a chalice.
If you're truly troubled, then imbibe the honey brew in this blessed chalice.
Elysian's mother and the
throw
voice
yourself
of that
into the
basin in the
feast
vortex of
at
Genesis
ease.
sounds so similar. I'm pretty sure it's the same person.
The liquid in the cup sat still, reflecting her loneliness.
Princess, come sing with us!
The people outside her window invited her warmly still. She finally ceased to hesitate, drinking down all the honey brew in one swallow, and leaped into the crowds. She played music and sang, smiling and dreaming. When her song was over, it felt as if waking from a dream. The people rushed to raise their glasses.
Okay.
But as soon as the honey brew touched her lips, the princess plummeted to the ground, and her cheeks became rosy in drunkenness.
Interesting.
The wisp.
Seems like you still have not been able to get rid of that curse.
Okay, that's the Gold Weaver.
Gold Weaver softly took the cup away from her hand.
If you want to enjoy yourself to the fullest, then leave this honey brew till the very end.
She smiled, then tilted the cup towards the Gold Weaver's lips.
Even if one is burdened with imperfections, I beg you to remember. Not
Okay.
to refuse that sip filled with fantasy and dreams.
Okay.
She returned home after many years. But before her, the creator of the sea sirens and the mother goddess of feasts was already sinking into the drunkenness of imminent.
So that's the
When
fountain.
the blood pact of the law won over the ocean's core flame, the sea siren
That wouldn't
once
surprise
again
me.
lost her melodious voice.
I'm willing to accept the final Imperial command. But it is a pity that our feast was ultimately a mirage.
Interesting.
The deep sea became a silent place of dwelling, hugging, till one day, a golden trout's bubbles floated into her gloomy waters.
Okay.
Long time no see, Gladius. Iceland. Now you have truly become the ocean's bedrock.
So that's the Goliath.
Old, many.
If you don't mind,
The resplendent pearl sparkled.
we hope you can regain your strength and sing for the world once again.
So that's Cyrenian Hycealans.
Electra raised her violin sword in doubt.
Well, it'd be fair and Amphoreus
As
is,
the
I guess,
strings had
understanding
long
of the
ago
past. Yeah.
rusted
Yep.
and snapped. But a few golden strands cleansed all the filth around her. Then, the golden strings showed Electra that the world she loved was not yet silent, and the journey of deliverance continued still. Yet the path to the Sea of Stars would not be a carefree feast.
Okay, so that's talking about World Beyond the Stars.
The golden trout never met with her again, and the waves brought endless news of sorrow. Amidst the long wait, she remained bound by decree. All the flames had died out, extinguished until this world fell into eternal silence. And the wordless enemies in the deep sea were the audience of this rite.
The Theros, yeah.
The Theors.
After all, elation isn't just chaos.
You already know that the world is just an illusion.
The sea siren gazed out beyond the heavens and once more raised her glass.
So I believe the Trailblazer is the one narrating.
Since the mirage of pleasures can only disappear like foam, when you return, will you save some ocean spray for me?
This was a city of festivities, where never-ceasing songs eternal. It was beautiful and radiant, performing the sea siren's drama amidst the revelry. The siren once longed for the banquet to never end, yet she witnessed the music fade and the guests disperse.
Okay.
As a fish, she was destined to drift with the waves.
So,
whether amidst the surging tides of evil or immersed in the currents of the starry sea. Until a millennium later, when the fish from beyond the sky finally took their seat.
I enjoy banquets. How about you, little gray fry?
okay. I mean, the MC is more like a co-author of Amphoreus, if you ask me. Yeah. So I know that a lot of people compare Genshin and like Starrail, Withering Waves, all of those together. It very much seems to me in the sense of... Ooh, Cyrene's got something for me. Uh-oh. Yeah, where'd you go? A little bit of magic. I worked some fairy magic to leave this message and IDs at Lizzie before taking off. We'll be back for a bit, and I'd hate for you to feel alone without me, but don't worry, our memories are still there, scattered around. I left you a letter too. Go check the Sacrament Courtyard. Okay. Didn't realize Sacrament Courtyard. So she left us a letter. I'm gonna go check that real quick. Sacrament Courtyard. I don't know where that is. But it's safe. I think the other thing that you also gotta take into account is we the MC finished the Era Nova, so a new cycle will begin, and from there we can meet Donhung, I guess. That's what is thought to be true. Has already left IDs yet. Ah, looks like you still remember what I said. Every story has come to an end. IDs Elysia is where your next story begins. When you're ready, set out from here. By the time you read this letter, I may have already left the village. But I will never disappear. The memories we shared in IDs Elysia will stay with you in my place until the day we meet again. Ooh, okay. So that almost confirms the fact that we know the story's installment is going to send us right back to IDs Elysia. I don't know why I'm doing this. This is just wasting time at this point. We also know kind of now, because of the fact that the book is like this, it's not like it was before. Iron Tomb is your name. Was this at one point completely marked out? No. I don't think so. Maybe. After all, the Earth Titan's core flame was the first to be obtained. That's true. Interesting. So, Ceridra still has one. March still has 3. Donhung still has 3. Hycelan still has 1. But I think it's safe to assume that Tribi, Cypher, Castris, Mighty, Aglaya, Anaxa, Phynon, and Hyacinth, at least at this point in the story, we're done with. There's no more to add to their books. Also, Sunday used his powers on Legas, so he might get pulled in the story at the end fight. Yeah, that's true. I completely forgot about that. He used tuning on Legas. Nope, not that. I want this. Yeah. So, Amphoreus, Iron Tomb. We already know that Iron Tomb is close to being awakened. 12 factors, that would be core variables of the experiment, 12 simplified models of, yeah. So that would be 12 factors. I'm trying to think who that would be. The 12 factors would be Tribi, Ceridra, March 7th, Donhung, Hycelan, Hyacinth, Phynon, Naxa, Aglaya, Mighty, Castris, and Cypher. I believe that most of them are not seen as a threat anymore. The first 3 core flames attained seems to be Earth, Ocean, and Law. To ensure secrecy, blank must be deployed around the scepter, blocking potential interference from the external universe. In addition, use quatazane outbreak expressions and a blank encrypted environment full ripples. Polka Kakamond. Polka Kakamond is genius number 4. Archive. Cycles. Archive. Turn Force. Phobos 032 strip data from the other electric signals to try to preserve the old cycle but failed. Do we know who Phobos is? Multiple anomalies were recorded after a system cell check. No response received after feedback to Administrator ID Lycos. Lycos, I'm gonna guess, is Lygus. There's also a question as to why the MC and Don Hung got into Amphoreus to begin with. Yeah, considering we were asked to go there by Black Swan. Interesting. So Grove Epiphany, malicious visitor, Herta and Screw abnormally loaded, initiating expulsion. Logic Aeronova has been overwritten according to external command. This command may interfere with the system calculation progress. Warned multiple times. We don't know who. Unless... yeah, March 7th and somebody. Cursive Loop, Titan. A Scion of Permanence. Herta. It's interesting to also think about the fact that there's a person's name in Phila 093s that's Phynon. No. Yeah, Phynon and Cyrene. I think. That is Ceredra. Terrorbox did not engage in any hostile actions. This entity could not be located after late calendar year 3961. So, 3961 could be the year that we go back to. Like, we need the remembrance to even observe Amphoreus to begin with. Also, Lygus has 8 more forms, so he might use some of them to fight us in the new cycle. Philia Cyrene. Yeah. It says Terravox. However, I don't know, I think I have an idea of who it might be. They're Crisis Air and Demigod attributed with the core flame of Earth. Okay. Yeah, so Terravox would be... so Terravox would probably be Don Hung's new form. Also, Lygus is, yeah. Late calendar 4029, Aglaia engaged. Attack proof futile. Aglaya's life. Castrus, Tribios, Mighty Mos, Salvation, Cyphera, okay, and Zagreus, Electra, in Lake Calendar 4510, Hyacinthia descended to demigod status but refused to uninstall mobility permissions, protection, halt the greatest weight, and okay. I have sort of a theory kind of brewing a little bit. Terravox is associated with permanence in one of its pages. Yes. I believe in some way Terravox is connected to Donhung. And I think part of that also has to do with the because I think if I remember correctly, Donhung was studying some of the sage's techniques and was able to use he was able to use some type of power, and I can't remember what it's called. He learned how to use the I can't remember what it was called. Power permanence? No, that's not what I'm looking for. It cloud him. That's what it was. He was related to cloud him and hydrokinetic abilities from his past life for transformation. But it was a specific thing that he did. I hope this doesn't happen, but imagine everyone dies and Amphoreus goes missing and the MC is left and they return to the train alone. Oh no. But I will be super interested to see what happens for 3.6. How far out are we from the 3.6? 3.6 HSR special program. How far out? September 23rd. Oh my god. Donhung could essentially use the wire to teleport himself into the vortex. Yes. Which I think is going to have a huge connection to Hycelan's, considering she can also do the same. She can give herself that opening to get into the Vortex of Genesis, so I think that will be super interesting. Pretty good theories, guys. Honestly, I'm excited to see what happens. I think we've theorized a lot of really good stuff. I'm gonna go because my side of my mouth, because I have like a canker sore, starting to hurt, and it's starting to hurt like talking a bunch. So I'm gonna go ahead and go, but good job. Thank you for helping me theorize on HSR. That's been really helpful. Hopefully some of our stuff is answered in 3.6. Couple new YouTube shorts coming out relatively soon, probably today or tomorrow. But thank you all for hanging out with me. Hopefully we get some good and solid answers in the version 3.6 Trailblaze mission. Leave a like if you did enjoy. Subscribe down below so you don't miss any Wednesday and Thursday live streams. And I will see you guys later. Bye.